Good morning and welcome to today's webinar. So today's webinar will be on construction document revolution, explore the EDMS. My name is Lisa and I'm excited to be here today. Before we begin, let's go over some guidelines and housekeeping to items to ensure a smooth and engaging webinar. We will be keep muted your microphones throughout the sessions to minimize the background noise. But if you have any questions or comments, please use the chat box given on the right hand side of your screen. And we also encourage active participation. So feel free to ask your question during the Q&A segments. And I will be sharing a link of registration for e-certificate and also to collect your CPD point. So when please fill up the form. I will be sharing the link in a while at the checkbox. And now let's introduce our speaker for today. We have Jay Shankar here, our IT manager, who is an expert in EDMS, and he will be conducting this webinar session. And he have a knowledge and experience in EDMS on digital transformation, construction digital transformations. So we are grateful to have him today. Without further, I will hand over our virtual floor to him.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, first of all, a very good morning to have every one of you here and Salam Sejahtera. Okay, myself, Shankar, but people address me as Jay. Okay, even right after this webinar, you are most welcome to reach out to me if you wanted to have, if you have any clarification to discuss about um, what is revolutionizing on construction documentation, or what is that single source of truth. You want to have further clarification, of course, I'm most welcoming you guys to approach me at any time at your convenience. Okay. First of all, if everyone talks, because many people are discussing about, discussing ataupun talking about revolutionizing construction documentation. What is that? So, because most of the, your top management are talking about construction, we have to revolutionizing ataupun paperless environment and so on. Okay, today I'm just going to tell you that why do we need to have revolutionizing construction, and how are we going to embark into a single source of truth? It is very related to each other. And I will give you a video of a tool that I've been doing a research and development for the past 1 year. Okay. And then when we discuss about construction documentation, why it is crucial, pasal apa we need that document. Okay, so from here I have listed out, that means these are the few topics, but it's not limited to this point. It could be more, but what I can think that this is really need to be emphasized, and these are the crucial reasons that we need to have construction document are the 4-5 items that I've listed down here. Okay, and the main reason that we need to have a construction documentation, regardless it's the one that you have in the filing, or probably some of you all have already embarked into a digitalization where you have convert all this document into a digital form ataupun digital documentation. So the question here, why it's crucial? Mengapa kita perlukan all this documentation? First thing, on the legal compliance. So when I state here as a legal compliance, I have already mentioned also clearly, construction documentation ensures that project adheres to local building codes, zoning regulation, other legal requirements. It serves the reference of the demonstrate of compliance with all the necessary regulation and standards. Okay, for an example, if let's say we take a catalyst, the project have delayed, you need to have EOT, extension of time. You still need to go back to your legal compliance and refer. But do you think that having a legal compliance document into a filing will work? Kemungkinan tikus dah makan dah. Ataupun some documents will be scattered around. We doesn't know. So it is best why we need to have into a what you call that revolutionizing it. That means from the conventional method, how are we going to migrate into a next phase? either to the digitalization or data, digital form or whatsoever. Okay, so these are the things that I'm just going to discuss. These are the crucial why we need to have legal compliance, because one of the reasons that I can foresee is for you to justify why we need to, I mean, there's an extension of time. You need to have all these compliance. And then second thing is liquidation of acetate damages, LAD. So we need to refer back apa tu benchmark dengan compliance documentation in order for us to justify, okay, I nak release LAD, some charges, some apa tu untuk apa pempasan, all this into that pempasan legal compliance. Second thing, communication and coordination. We With accurate, up-to-date data available in one place, decision-making process becomes more informed and reliable. Okay, when you have this construction documentation in one single place, you see, I have some experience that when I went to these sites, I can foresee that some documents are there, some documents in the apa tu pre-construction phase, mungkin dengan apa tu designer, architects were holding some 3D architect drawings. But when they wanted to have some discussion, they've been searching around. Where is this? Is it with the designer or with it with the architect or with it with a project manager or contractor and all this? So why we need to have why the construction document is very important is just to ensure that communication and coordination will ensure that there's a decision-making process will be more aligned and reliable. Okay. Okay, that's a second reason. And the third thing is risk management. Okay, as I stated here, construction projects involve various risks, including financial, safety, scheduling risks, okay, and scheduling risks. Proper documentation help identify and mitigate. Okay, again, I'm saying that to mitigate potential risk by providing a record of decision, agreements, and responsibility. Okay, most of the projects that we have here, everyone is coming up with risk management. Why they wanted to have the risk management is just to identify what are the possible risks that could cause cost bursts, project timeline bursts. And to have this risk management with all this documentation, all these risks is to mitigate for the future project, this should not happen. So maknanya risk management ni actually sebagai satu, how to say, a benchmark. Okay, for this project A, okay, let's say for example, building double-story houses in dekat Sendayang, for example. Phase A, dia dah buat dah, dia dah bina all these houses. But in the phase A, they already identify, okay, tanah tu dia memang, you know, tanah yang warna kuning tu apa, tanah liat. And then all this, when hujan air akan bertakung, you see, all these are risk. So all this you have to update. That means for the second phase, you can identify this risk could happen and what are the mitigation plan that you can do, you can perform so that you can get rid this before things happen. Macam siap apa tu, siapkan payung sebelum hujan lah, something like that. Okay. And then the fourth one is future maintenance and renovation. As what I said, well-documented construction information provides valuable insights for future maintenance, renovations, and expansion. It helps facility managers and owners understand the building systems and component. Okay, we need to ensure that all these future maintenance and renovation all are documented either through writing documents. We can either, I mean, conventional method, you write, you keep it in a file, you put it into the a cupboard there. But to revolutionize this, how are we going to do that? Okay, and then asset management. Construction documentation becomes part of the asset management for the completed structure. It is a valuable resource for facility managers and owners to understand the building's component, systems, and history. Okay, okay. If you all have questions, please raise up your hand. Lisa, they can do that, right? Okay. Okay. What are the common challenges that normally we can see with this documentation? Documentation means construction documentation. What are the normal changes? If let's say we don't keep track that, what are the challenges yang sering we've been hearing? We're getting messages from developers asking for a solution and so on. So I'm just sharing some of it. Just a heads up on here. Okay, no collaboration platform. You see, most of people right now are using WhatsApp. The moment the project subcontractor completes their project, in order for them to have that payment, reimbursement, payment, what they have to do, they have to share this to the procurement department. But very unfortunately, the moment they send the pictures, messages, and so on, it has to go through some processes. For example, the project manager, the subcontractor goes to the contractors, and then from the contractors, probably it goes to the project manager. And project manager have to verify all this. You have to refer back. You have some clarification. You will send request for information. All this has to be done. But conventionally method, we are using WhatsApp, SMS, call tak lepas pasal we are on site. When you call them, very unfortunate, sometimes you don't get the line. So when you don't get the line and everyone is busy, so they tend to forget, and this project becomes delayed. So that's why we need collaboration platform. Okay, and you see, no one platform collaboration from owner to subcontractors to document management system and really heavily on email, papers, faxes, and Dropbox. Any conventional method lah. Okay, no project visibility. Okay, in order for us to keep track on the documentation, right? The purpose here is to ensure that we understand, we know what is happening on the project performance and the project risk. As I mentioned just now, documentation why it is required and what are the common challenges. These are the challenges where project risk, you can't see the visibility. Where to see the visibility? Can I expect someone to always go to admin to go up to the filing? Check, these are the challenges. Hujan kalau, these are the challenges. Banjir kalau, these are the challenges. Tanah runtuh, these are the challenges. So all this cannot be filed up. It has to be somewhere the information so that you can always refer as a benchmark. Oh, these are the risk management that could happen, all this, and the performance of the project, so that we can complete the project as early as possible. And as minimum, that means the cost should not burst. It has to be minimum as much as possible. Okay. And then no approvals. Extremely difficult to keep track and review and approve status of every document. Okay, macam tadi saya cakap tu, subcontractor say I dah complete project, but how am I going to get the approval? Someone has to, it has to go into a few process escalation, and then have to come back and see the project is that through what the subcontractor have mentioned. So all this process, approval process will delay, but you need to have a platform. That platform will have a communication throughout the entire process within the supply chain to get the approval. You don't need to do that because there's always a notification to remind, okay, subcontractor ini dah complete. So please update. There will be kita boleh buat satu notification, a schedule notification, just to ensure that what they call that, a reminder to someone to say that please check and proceed. And we can have a deadline. Untuk ni, you need to complete within this date. A reminder, a frequent reminder will be sent to the respective parties to do approval, so that this subcontractor can proceed for the second phase. He might have been given a few other tasks, so he can just do. He doesn't have to wait for so many days, months. You see, okay. And then the fourth one is delay in information distribution. Macam tadi saya cakap tu, information, it's all come back to the same thing, you know. Delay in information distribution internally, externally, across the project team. Satu information yang small, tiny information just to get an approval, it will take months, even weeks, in order to just to get one confirmation, which it will delay or drag the project timeline. See? And then documents everywhere. As I mentioned that construction document ni, conventionally, I mean, masa dulu-dulu ni semua, everyone keeping the document, some on the site, some at the apa tu yang during the construction phase, the architect drawing, the 3D document ada dekat tangan architect. So when everyone is searching around, after like few weeks only, we will know document ada dekat sana. Document tu dalam cabinet, document ada dalam folder, and so on. You see, this is why we are just saying that, as I mentioned in my subtitle, right, the first slide, single source of truth. I'm coming up with the challenges, and then I'll explain to you what is single source of truth. Okay. And then no audit trail. Ineffective tracking and monitoring auditor has no record on what happened, and why, especially after staff turnover. This is a very common challenges faced by not only construction industry, but most of the industry. You see, you cannot expect the staff to stay there for so many projects. The moment the one project is over, the staff will be leave and then they go for another project. But what happened to their communication? What happened to their documents? What happened to the drawings, the markups? Okay, probably user A, I've mentioned that, okay, tempat ni nak kena tukar, kena ni, kena tempat ni nak kena ubah. So all this information must be kept. But when the person have left, how are you going to track? Do you think the person can always remember even he left? He's not going to give us any information, but a system, a platform which provides an audit trail doesn't allow you to depend on anyone. You don't have to depend on human. Instead, you depend on the system. Okay. If any questions, please raise up your hand. Okay, unsecured data storage. Okay. This is very, very common and it applies to most of the industry. Concern about unsecured cloud and data center, particularly when hosted outside Malaysia. You see, okay, now I'm hearing about ransomware, malware, and so on. I think some of you all have encountered ransomware. Ransomware, macam mana pun you use antivirus, tak boleh nak extract the information. Ransomware will even penetrate into your backup, where your data, when the moment that you want to extract out, it will ask you, okay, you need to pay certain thousands of Bitcoin because all this ransom. The word ransom you already know. So that's why many people are now worried. Is that safe for my information, my crucial information to be kept in outside Malaysia? Because most of the cloud hosting provider, they are hosting outside Malaysia, like AWS. Tapi AWS they are going to embark into Malaysia, but AWS currently is in outside Malaysia. Azure, most of the product they have, see, most of the solution that they have, if you ask them, first thing you need to ask, where is this, my application, my system, my data is going to be hosted? Is it in Malaysia or is it outside Malaysia? If it's outside Malaysia, you have to think twice, because you see, for example, TikTok one, government is so worried, the data, what are these people going to use our data? What is the purpose of they are going to store our data? So all these questions will come in. So it is best to store our information within Malaysia. Okay, and then apart from that, challenges is not only data storage, it's about the cost. Are we going to maintain our servers for every 3 years or 5 years? You need to change, refresh tech. I mean, your servers you need to change after 3 years or to 5 years. Apa tu, managed switches you have to change. Managed switches is not cheap, because in order for you to have segregate VLANs, VLANs means for setiap server or setiap computer, you will segregate the VLAN so that anything happens, it doesn't impact to another phase, another staging. So all this is involve a big, huge cost. That's why people prefer nowadays, in the current market, current era, they don't want to take the liability. Server, physical hardware is always a liability. So try not to have your liability, and then you need to have antivirus. You need to have one server guy to maintain all your database, your servers, and so on. All these hassles. The best way moving forward is about complying to the technology. Follow the technology, you spend as it's required. Whenever you require, you spend. You don't have to leverage or invest more money, because it doesn't bring any ROI. Okay. And if you want to know more about these servers, datas, and so on, you can always reach out to me. I think Ms. Lisa will share you my email address. You can always reach out to me. I can explain more further if you want. Since I have very limited time, I'll move to the next one, lack of scalability. Okay, most of the products, let's say you're going for the servers, your physical server, what do you need to do? You have to purchase, servers or cloud. If you're going to the cloud, you have to purchase. If let's say you insufficient of storage, insufficient of memory, insufficient of processor, you have to keep purchasing. But when it comes to a platform that I'm going to show you later, platforms doesn't require you to increase the scalability. The moment that you subscribe for one single user license, you can um, use the storage as much as you want to. You can create as many projects that you want to. You can build a structured document pattern as many as possible. Okay. And the performance of the system, because they have what they call that balancing. So they ensure that the data transition is keep at the same speed. Okay. Okay. Now it's time for us to understand what is SSOT. It's a single source of truth. Okay, from this slide, I've shared that a data management principle where all data elements within an organization are stored and maintained in one centralized location. As I shared to you earlier slides, right? Your documents are scattered around. Now we're going to come up with a platform where single source of the, because many, I think you all have met many vendors, but the question here is that true on what people are saying. That's why we came as a solution. One um, uh, what they call that? We are coming here as a solution provider where we just want you to understand first the single source of truth. Okay, since the single source of truth is nothing special, it's an architecture. I mean, we don't have to build an architecture. You don't have to depend a programmer from India. No need. You depend on one single platform, and they have built the architecture whereby it can be integrated or configured into all the construction related system. For an example, BIM solutions. You can integrate with that. You want to integrate with your what they call the finance system, ERP, if you wanted to. Even though the platform that I'm going to show you, they already have a finance system, but you still wanted to have your ERP. Yes, of course. And then you can extract all this information into one single centralized location, and you can populate insights, analytics. That's what basically SSOT. It means the moment that you have engaged with SSOT, your information there will be no leakage of your information. Okay, and why we need to have SSOT, a single source of truth, is due to the data consistency. Having a single source of truth ensures data is consistent and eliminates discrepancy or conflicting information that can arise from multiple data sources. That means with this information, we cannot have redundant data, no duplicate data. So your data, your information will be, because we have this metadata, the moment that, because all this will be configured earlier by the service provider, and then there'll be a training will given to the your own team on how to design your metadata. So by doing this, there will be no duplicate of data. You see why I'm saying that moving towards digitalizing, I mean, what is that? Revolutionizing. It is always good, is because you are not going to do a business for today. You're going to have a business for a long term. In order for you to have a long-term business, auditors, you will be meeting auditors. I mean, you want to benchmark all your information so that you can improvise all your decisions that you have made. So the data consistency is very, very important. Okay. And then improve decision making. With an accurate and updated data available in one single place, decision making process becomes more information and reliable. Is there anyone asking questions, Lisa? Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting some alert. Huh? So, but I can't see, but I'm just saying. Okay. As I mentioned just now, right? With your information, you can always extract this information into a dashboard, into a pie chart, into a table form, so that you can always use that for a decision making. As I mentioned just now in my previous slide, your risk management. You need to have all your risks that have done on the phase one. For an example, in the Sendayan, right? It's a new project. Sendayan, you take an example of that phase one so that you can improvise in making decision for the phase two. That will reduce your cost. You optimize your cost. See? And again, the third point comes into time and cost efficiency, which I've already discussed in the mentioning improved decision making, right? Maintaining a single source of truth reduces the effort and resources needed for data integration, data reconciliation, and data validation across multiple systems and databases. Okay, as you can see here, ERP, your own ERP, you might have a different database. Your what they call that, your project planning. Let's say you don't have a project planning, you will have another database. All this can be consolidated by just pushing all this information into one data warehousing and single source of truth. The real single source of truth should be able to do that, because many of the people have been telling that no, my product is a single source of truth, but we need to investigate how true is that single source of truth your product is going to furnish the client. Okay. Okay, enhance collaboration. Okay, SSOT fosters collaboration by providing shared and reliable data foundation for teams to work together, reducing confusion and misunderstanding arising from the inconsistent and outdated data. As I mentioned just now, due to the collaboration of multiple products within one single process, this will reduce redundant information. That means that since we already categorize this in our metadata, we can detect duplicate data. Okay. And data quality and governance, centralizing data in SSOT enables better data quality control and governance, as data standards, validation rules, and access control can be implemented more effectively. As I mentioned it earlier, this applies for that. And scalability and flexibility. SSOT can accommodate future growth and expansion, allowing the seamless integration of new data sources and systems. I mentioned earlier, you don't have to increase or purchase additional items, additional hardwares, additional subscription is not required at all. The moment that you have registered, subscribe for the licenses, you are able to, the license and the product is going to be very scalable. Okay, and flexibility for the end user to use. Okay, is there any question for this slide? There's no questions. I'll proceed for the next slide. Okay, the collaboration platform that we can foresee that is going to helpful, very helpful for the construction industry would be this. This would be the right, because based on my experience and with our superior in our industry, in our company, we have really discussed with most of the construction, legendary construction industry team members, what are the real tool that you're looking for. And then based on our discussion, they have said that they wanted to have a document management. They wanted to have 3P management. 3P management is basically you can create your projects under programs. It means the way that how you're going to structure the way your projects going to be, that means your folders. For example, for 3P management, we have these portfolios within, for example, portfolio company A have multiple divisions. We can assign that to programs, and from the programs, you can assign to the number of projects. So this product can furnish you multiple or unlimited projects, portfolios, and programs. Okay, of course, we have finance. You can update cost loaded and then resource loaded. You can update that also, and then dashboarding. We have dashboarding. Probably later I can show you some dashboarding. Risk management, as I mentioned that risk management, we have risk management where you can update your risk management to this so that you can use this as your benchmark for the other projects. And analytics, as I mentioned, the product that I'm going to show you later, I have a beautiful analytics. It is as strong as Power BI and other products in the market. They already have their own analytic products. Okay, and issue management, of course, whatever issues that you have, you can update so that all these can be combined into a lesson learned, so that for the future projects or for the second projects, you can use all this issue management, which was assigned in the lesson learned. And then IFC BIM viewer. This is something very interesting. Okay, your 3D documents, your 3D drawings, architect drawings, 2D architect drawings, you don't need to have a separate license from Autodesk, not required. You see, based on our experience, the construction in the construction industry, the Autodesk or any design tools is only required on the construction phase. After the construction phase, the drawings already finalized. And then when it comes to the construction phase and until to the end over, you don't need, but they still need to view the construction, I mean the 3D drawings. So the tool that I'm mentioning just now, it provides you IFC BIM viewer. That means you don't need to have any drawing, I mean any additional licenses. We already have with a consolidated IBM IFC BIM viewer, whether you can view all these 3Ds, all sort of drawings. I don't simply justify one, but I can just tell you one word. You can view all the in the market, all sort of format can be viewed by the product. Okay, and also we can also integrate with BIM Professional. Okay, and on top, the toppers is the product gives you a platform whereby you build your process. Let me see, for an example, some company, they doesn't want to change their processes, the way they are working, the way they wanted to have their from the initial stage up to the delivery of the unit. So some product, they say, no, you have to change management, you have to change the way of doing things. But product that I'm talking about is about process management. You build the process with a workflow, okay, that applies to your organization. Later, I'll show you. You will have a better understanding of that. Okay. If you don't have questions, I'll go for the next slide. And then collaboration. This is going to be a collaboration platform where all the stakeholders, which regardless, if let's say this person is in Dubai, the designer is in Dubai, the project owner is in Malaysia, project team is in Sabah, subcontractors maybe in Johor. You know, all these PMC, your designers, all these people scattered around, but they can still communicate without coming to one single location. They can communicate via the platform. And the purpose of revolutionizing, sorry, I can't pronounce that well. Okay, revolutionizing comes into this phase. We need to have one single platform in order for us to ensure that all these stakeholders, all these team members to work within a single dashboard, single platform. Okay. And as I mentioned, right, this is the 3P module. As you can see here, we have portfolios, programs, and project. From here itself, I doesn't have to go to the system. I drill down to the project. What I can do from the 3P itself, this one slide, I mean, one screen from the system, I should be able to see who is my type of the project that we are doing, what are the actual costs, what are the categories, estimated budget, who are the managers that involve, the status of the project, and then description probably we can do. We can also change the currency, and we can also have this attached without accessing to the that project directly. We can do it all this within one page, 3P. So these slides will be given by the system. This kind of feasibility is given by the system itself. Okay. Okay, as I mentioned, right, we create our business process. This is okay. Actually, this document you can create as okay. Here we use this what they call that a business process. As I mentioned, it a business process comes with process and workflow. As you can see here. Okay, let me click. Make it. Oops. I create a process, a workflow where the uninitiated project team to send D&E, D&E sent to the third party. These are the process escalation. You see, this workflow can be created. That means we don't need someone to create for us. If this is a workflow that we want, we can create in our system. So a platform where we design our workflow, we design our business process. Like those days, compared to the conventional method, we are very dependent with the software developer. Sometimes these software developers are from India. What we are trying to Malaysians, we are trying to explain to them 100 times, so sometimes they'll be coming back with mistakes. But this time, the platform that I'm talking about will not give anyone to create mistakes or error. You create your business that you wanted to have, and the workflow can be created by ourselves. Okay. Before next moving to the next slide, you all have any questions? Okay, please stop me if you have any concern or questions. Okay, and then, okay, most of the construction industry, they are very dependent on the Gantt chart. Okay, the product which I'm going to do is it's a Poland product actually. The name is iSetia. It's a Poland product. It's not Malaysian product. It's a iSetia. It's a Poland product. We can switch the work process into a Gantt chart. For an example, I can create a Kanban chart like how I create just now. I can create a Kanban chart. I can come up with a percentage, maybe 10% here, 20% here, 50% here. And then for each activities, I can just split this based on the activities. So I can create what they call that, a board, a Kanban board, where I can have all this, my documentation, my communication, my costs, I can include here. So each time project manager, subcontractor have mentioned to me, documents already, work has already done. These are my documents. They can attach, because by giving a license to them, they can attach a document, and all this communication will be on the same Kanban board. And if I wanted to change back this into a Gantt chart, I can switch this to a Gantt chart format. Okay. And besides that, we can also view for the infrastructure project. We can also view the peers using Google Map. The moment that we capture that, and we can view that in the by using this product. And from here, we can have this plan feature, all these activities. We can see what are the activities involved for each peer. And we can have this plan finish, actual finish, and the percentage of complete. We can always see from here without going up to the sites. Okay. And this is also again with this is actually a dashboard of infrastructure project, and this is the planned peers, and this is the actual peers. What I've done, what was given for the plan, and what was done at the actual. So we can see this from the dashboard itself. Okay. And okay, and this is also important, which I mentioned earlier. Okay, with the 3D from the beam system, right? I can always get the 3D diagram. And let's say, for an example, I wanted to do some amendment, some fixes here. I can have a plan versus actual 3D progress monitoring here. Which other product in the market? I don't think so. None of the product can do. This is based on my research for the past so many years I'm in this industry. Okay, so you can have this 3D diagram extracted from our what they call that, from our design team, and by using this, we can escalate around to the team members, up to the subcontractors, to do fixes, and we can have this planning versus actual. Okay, I mean, we don't need to have verbal communication, but instead of a verbal communication, all this communication can be done through the system. And of course, this is S curve based on your cost that we have invested. You can always see your ROI from here. So I'll go quite fast because it's already almost 1 hour. And this is also a finance report where you can see. Oops, sorry, I make it big. As you can see, your planned cost, planned income, and actual income from here. I see. You can split the dashboard. Okay, this dashboard is not limited to this. iSetia provides you unlimited changes also. Based on the first time implementation, we can do changes accordingly. So as I can see, I can just extract based on our past year's experience. We have built a dashboard for the end user, and this is what we have given, and this is based on their requirements. So this is planned income, actual income for the income, and these are the costing that we have and they have invested. Okay. Okay, and this is the most important thing, correspondence module that we have in ICTR. You see, when it comes to one project, what are the correspondence defined? They might have RFI, as I mentioned earlier. They might have submittals, transmittals. They might have some pre-tender, for example. They want to do a tendering. So all this communication should be in this one slide. There cannot be a separate discussion out from the system because we wanted to keep track of whatever discussion that we have. So ICTR provides a great feasibility whereby you can keep track all the communication without having WhatsApp, SMS not required at all. Okay. And as I mentioned, right, documents, you can always see your design document here without a third party tool. There's some samples. And then the same thing as I mentioned. Oops, sorry. See? And then international standards. Okay. Any products that you wanted to subscribe, you probably need to consider these three things. I'm not asking you to go with ICTR or any other products, but based on our research and development, we find that ICTR would be the best product because it provides you all this compliance. You see, it's a ISO 19650 for the BIM, ISO IC 2700 001. This is for ICE Information System Management Security, and ISO 9001, which is for the quality management system. So you should take a look into this because data security is very crucial, and nowadays hacking on the information becomes a big business for the foreigners. So these are few things that we need to look into it into a very serious matter. Okay. And I just give you one case study because I'm running out of time. Okay, for JC, because this ICTR was used for this Jeddah Central Development Project, and 17 design companies, 51 design contracts from 14 different countries. So they have many stakeholders around the 14 countries that worked on this project. Design phase overlap with COVID-19 traveling. This is all some risk. Cybersecurity requirements is very high. None of the CD and PM cover requirements. No procedures and solutions for HSE health, safety and environment. QA, QC, design, procurement. These are the issues they have mentioned. Okay, I'll go a little bit fast. And this project, they used ICTR BIM Viewer Pro for JCDC project. And then after that, they use IFC right after this IBM Viewer Pro. After that, they use IFC after the design stage. And then as you can see, how they can view 3D plus 1D time, 4D they can be viewed, 3D IFC plus time plus cost, 5D. I think you all are aware about this. It's all under construction terms. Auto progress update, point cloud, and BIM report. Okay. And for the JCDC project, what happened before and after, these are simple point that I've extracted. Cybersecurity requirement is very high for none of the very high none of the CD and PMS cover requirement. No procedures and solution for HSC. Okay, they don't have the procedure. More than 50% reproduced information. That means redundant data. 90% of dropping a document out of date. Okay, this is very common issues, not only for JCDC, it happens everywhere, including Malaysia. Progress tracking manual and management get site issues more than 4 weeks. Okay, right after using the product, we have implemented ISO 27001 PMS with local cloud provide 100% secure. That means this JCDC, they requested us to host this project into the local hosting, local cloud provider. As I can see here, most of the product in the market, they don't allow us to host by ourselves. But ICTR, which is hosted from Poland, they allow us to host. Let's say we, as an organization, we said, no, my data security is very crucial. Okay, we can host it on-prem. Okay. The second thing, 100% of all process digitized. No manual work, submission requests, RFI, information link model to IFC. This one I mentioned just now also. There's no reproduce or no data loss. We 99.99, I don't want to mention 100%, but 100% is of course I can tell, and I'm very confident on that. No data loss will incur. All the information recorded in the system in a very secure manner. Okay, 100% full version of control. That means every stakeholders, they have the visibility to have that document. So 100% full version control being taken care. Progress tracking live, we use integrated model and site progress report with Tron and 3D scanning as well. No manual work for reporting for JCDC projects. And of course, if I have time, I would like to share more projects that was done using iSatya product. But since I have very limited time, I thought about sharing one video. So I need to go quite fast. Okay. And thank you for this. Okay, this is a very short video. Okay, what I would expect from all of us, I mean, who have attended, let's take this as an opportunity to understand about iSatya. You can do what, if you wanted to know more about iSatya product, we can have one simulation of your business process. We can do it in your office. Please feel free to reach out to me or reach out to our team member, Lisa, so that we can have to understand your business. We can do a simple business process just to furnish your requirement. Okay, that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop down your questions at the chat box given. And also, I have shared the link for registration for receive the e-certificate and the CPD point. So kindly fill up your registration form as well. And do you have any questions? If you have, if you would like to request for demo sessions, feel free to reach out to us, and we will be scheduling the demo session with your team as well. I would like to thank all the participants to joining our webinar today, and also thanks for Mr. J to conduct these webinar sessions and also share the value and the benefits of using the electronic document management system. And also be sure to check our websites and social media platform for our upcoming webinars. And we will be conducting webinars on a monthly basis, and do share and join our webinars as well. And thanks. And once again, please kindly register the attendance forms for us to send you the e-certificate and also the CPD point. We hope you found this webinar valuable, and thanks for your contribution. And thank you for joining.